So, interrupt, redirect, praise. That's the formula. Every time the dog does something wrong, and if you have a puppy, that's every 10 minutes. Yeah? Interrupt what's wrong, show them what's right, and praise. If you don't know what's wrong, if you're not sure what else to do, have them either chew on something or have them sit. We can always do that. That's our default. Okay, then we're not going to scold anything that occurs 3 seconds ago. This means when you come home and you found that something got chewed up, or we found some poop on the floor, or whatever it is that dogs do, we cannot punish anything that occurred 3 seconds or more ago. We have to catch it in the act. If you find that they're doing something wrong, what you have to say is this, ask this question. Ask yourself, if that was wrong, what's right? If that was wrong, chewing on the leg of the chair was wrong, then what would be right? Well, chewing on the shoe is right. So this is how you get yourself into this mindset. If that was wrong, what's right? Let's force them to do what's right. Okay, now I want to introduce the gentle leader now. The gentle leader is a tool, looks like this, and it's a tool that we recommend basically for all puppies. It's different than most collars in that it has a collar that goes around the back of the neck, but it also has one that goes around the muzzle. This is used because in the wolf pack, this is a power spot. This is where mom picks up a wolf, or for that matter a puppy, and when the mom picks them up here, they go limp, so they can be carried from spot to spot. So there's a little pressure spot right here. This one is also a power spot, the muzzle loop, or the nose loop, because when you close it down, this is a message between wolves. In the wolf pack, the more leader wolf will go around and just close the mouth very quickly, just like this, but close the mouth of the subordinate wolves. And it's just a reminder, I'm in charge, right? Okay, no problem. Everyone understands, I'm in charge, I'm in charge. So what happens is it's a non-violent way to establish leadership. So what this does is when you pull up on it, it closes the mouth and slides through down here. So a gentle leader is a very good tool, especially for dogs who are a little headstrong, who are hyperactive. And you can use this even for a few minutes at a time. If your puppy is becoming hyper at home and you want him to chill out, you can put the gentle leader on and it calms them down. This will get really calm. And that's, how many people want that in a puppy, right? To be able to do that. So this is a very good tool. I also want to point out this lead. Now this is called a drag line. This is a 10-foot nylon drag line. And with puppies particularly, we want them to go around the house dragging this. When you're home, for supervision. So that way, if they get into something, you can, from a distance, you can control them. Okay? And especially with adult dogs, you can control. It's remote control, what it is, right? So we're going to have them sit by pulling up. And with this gentle leader, the key thing you need to know is, once they get fit, now every dog will object to this, kind of like the horse that's never had a halter on. At first, they'll reject to it. But they'll get used to it quickly if you give food treats through the muzzle, right? So the way this works is, when you want the dog to sit, you pull up, and what happens is it pulls back here and closes their mouth. You're giving a leadership command, and you say sit, and they'll sit, and then you release the pressure, and that's the reward. That's how this tool works. So the gentle leader is very useful in a variety of corrective issues. It's very helpful in puppies when they're learning. So this is one of the tools that I do encourage and recommend that you obtain. Okay, so misunderstood punishment damages the bond. Misunderstood punishment. Now the owner is very clear about why the animal is punished. Did the dog get it? Probably not. In order for punishment to work, it has to fit 3 criteria, and another behavior has developed this, where it's called the ICE. So it has to be immediate every time it occurs, right then. Well, right there, we're blown out of the water. How many people have that timing to get it right there? You have to be there. You have to remember. You have to be prepared to scold them immediately. That's the I of ICE, is immediate. C is consistent. We have to do it every single time. Okay, particularly when they've got a bad habit, we have to be there every time if you're going to use punishment. Since we can't be there every time it occurs, it's another reason to not use punishment as a tool. And then E is it has to be effective. Now this is an important concept. Punishment, if you're going to use it, has to be effective. And I would say dosage of punishment. If you punish the dog too little, they didn't get that they were being punished. In other words, I've seen situations where there's the little old lady that says, "Now, Poopsie, don't you do that." Now, did Poopsie get the idea they were being scolded? No, they're being talked to real nice, and they think that's a reward. So they're actually going to increase because now that behavior has been rewarded. So you can underdose a punishment. You can also overdose a punishment, where if you punish too harshly, we now have caused fear, aggression, and phobias, and other problems. So based on those 3 criteria, to be able to be immediate, consistent, and dosed correctly, it's very, very difficult to use punishment correctly. A lot of trainers can't even do it properly. So what we want to encourage you to do is, therefore, let's take punishment out of our bag of tricks. And I mean physical punishment. You can still scold. You can say, no, I don't want you to do that. Instructive reprimand, that's okay. But even then, that depends on you being perceived as a leader. If you're not perceived as a leader by the learn-to-earn technique, then you're really not going to be effective. Okay, so what do you do with that rolled-up newspaper? I propose that there is a time that you can use a rolled-up newspaper effectively. And that's when you come home and you find that the animal is doing something wrong that they shouldn't have done. What I suggest to you is you go find a newspaper or a magazine somewhere, roll it up really tightly, and then go away from the dog and hit yourself over the head saying, bad person, bad person, bad person. I let him have too much freedom. I didn't supervise him the way I was supposed to. I didn't teach him the way I was supposed to. I'm a bad person, bad person. Okay? That's the only time I recommend that you use a rolled up newspaper or magazine. Okay? That's the only use I know of for that. But I want to give you the visual image because most people make mistakes day one. Day one, they bring home this little puppy and they let it run around the house. What's wrong? Don't do that. Because what's going to happen? He's going to pee on the floor, he's going to poop, he's going to chew up things. He hasn't earned the right for freedom. So what we really need to do from day one is have that dog confined. If you go to the pet store, are the puppies all just running all over the store? They're in individual kennels, right? If you go to the shelter where the animals are kept and maintained, are they running all over the place? They're in their individual confined spaces. Furthermore, we want to teach these dogs that confinement is not a bad thing. That's when you get your favorite food, you get a nice comfy place to lay, you get things to chew on, you get things to sniff, you get some food treats. So we want to teach contented confinement and then gradually give them freedom as they earn it. So if you are letting the dog have too much freedom and they make a mistake, that's when you go and get the rolled up newspaper and whack yourself over the head for giving too much freedom because they haven't earned it yet.